Hey there, I'm Mark from Spectrum Pulse, and today we finally have from Schoolboy Q Blue Lips. So it's been 5 years since the last Schoolboy Q album, and even he's kind of admitted that Crash Talk didn't really work the way he wanted it to. Although I'd argue that while that album isn't exactly good, there is more going on beneath the surface than it's been acknowledged or given proper credit. Now granted, I think that's been true with Schoolboy Q his entire career. He's most recognized for his sneering swagger across a lot of flows and bombastic hooks, the eternal hype man who will ensure that crowd is up, but I often feel his lyrical depth can be kind of underappreciated as a result, which is often true for rappers who are not yet on the A-list and write these huge bangers with some really not so hidden depths. But it's been 5 years since a proper Schoolboy Q album, and I was really curious about how much of the blurry cascade in the structure of Crash Talk might translate forward towards his other proclivities. And you know what, that's half true, but Blue Lips executes that sound collage a lot more effectively, and I can easily describe this album as a good return to form, albeit one that can seem like it's kind of in tension with itself, but where that's always sat in subtext or lyrical themes on previous albums. Although it's not that hard to notice, Schoolboy Q's entire career has been focused on the intrinsic contradictions and metatext between the brutal reality that comes with gangster rap and then its commodified form. Blue Lips moves it not just into the text, but the whiplash transitions and structure of the album itself, and that can make for a bit of a discombobulating experience on the first listen. It's less immediately song focused, tracks can spill across each other with some dramatic tonal switch-ups, and necessarily it sacrifices some of the immediate hookiness as a result. Now there are real consequences to this. The album as a whole cannot build a ton of momentum, and it means it probably feels a little longer than it is. The overall groove can be a bit choppy, and you might find yourself wondering if the content has enough layers to sustain this sort of structural choice, of which personally, I'm a bit divided. On the one hand, there is some real resonance in the juxtaposition of the grimy, traumatic come-up with the successful and endlessly playful and horny family man that he is. Dimensionality and humanity that will often get overlooked by the audience who are only looking for one thing out of Schoolboy Q, especially as there are complexities in trying to give back when wealth hasn't fully made him happy, or noting the lies and contradictions that are peddled by the industry that ultimately feel self-serving and don't solve the systemic issues that still impact him and his kids. He hates those who have come up in his wake as much as he might love them, especially amidst some very hollow praise alongside those saying that he fell off without going any deeper in his material. But on the other hand, there is this twinge of bitterness that might feel emotionally true, but can start feeling a bit flimsy alongside the flexing. The album can feel very slice of life, where you get a snapshot of where Schoolboy Q is and the mosaic of warring, conflicting emotions, but maybe not as complex as you would like given this structure. And you know what, sadly that kind of makes sense, because when he has been more open and introspective on other albums, it's not been acknowledged. So why not punch back with the success that he has earned? Yes, that's kind of reflexively conservative and leaning into the established system and hierarchies of wealth and success, especially with the acknowledgement of the harsh reality of suffering in order to get to that point. But given his experiences and how systemic change does not come easily or quickly, to say nothing of real emotional trauma, especially for as many times as he's been spurned by folks who never hold their word. I mean, I get it. And I appreciate the irony in that playing against conventional structure, he showcases multitudes. And you know what, not for nothing, this album can split the difference between soulful swagger and bombastic and menacing bangers really effectively. Schoolboy Q still has a ton of charisma, especially with more competent mixing outside of the occasional oversold beat. Thank God for Me, Lovebirds, and Ohio with Freddie Gibbs, they literally carry both vibes simultaneously on the same song, and the transitions are pretty good, with the horns and strings accented melancholy of Bluesides and Lost Times, balanced out with the killer stuttering bass of Yeern 101 and Time Killers, the haunted minimalism with borderline garage percussion on Foux, where Absol just goes off, and Pig Feet, one of the hardest trap bangers I have heard all damn year. So as a whole, Again, this album's internal tension is palpable, an amplification of what's always lurked to the forefront now. It makes for probably Schoolboy Q's most ambitious project to date, at least on a sonic level, and it probably works best as a whole piece rather than individual songs. A little strange I'm saying it for Schoolboy Q, but it's true. I think time will tell if what was given up in structure helps this pop off for longer. Schoolboy Q albums tend to build their staying power in louder, wilder settings that better match that vibe. But you know what? The best moments have me thinking that it will. I'm not sure I can call it his best, but it's got the sort of album that has me confident Schoolboy Q can once again match or surpass it. Damn solid project. Check it out. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to see more, please be sure to like, share, drop comments, and subscribe. I know this album's kind of been divisive, again, going for this sort of structureless, like blurry approach to song structure. It is something to behold. I'm curious where y'all are going to fall on this overall, because again, it's less immediately singles focused, and it's a change for sure. But beyond that, leave those comments down below. Also, if I got anything else I might be able to do to improve my presentation, I am all ears to it. And hell, if you want to argue with me more directly on my Discord, or hell, support the channel in general, get albums onto my schedule, link to my Patreon right over there. Don't feel obligated, tough times, I'll be okay, but the option's available. Till then, I'm Mark, you're watching Spectrum Pulse, and I'll see you next time.